But now, let's move on to our next guest. Stephen James Smith was asked to write a poem about Ireland and all its little oddities to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Now, before we speak to Stephen, let's have a look at the video of the poem, My Ireland.
My Ireland, wherever you roam, you were always a Paddy, a Biddy, a Mick. My Ireland is Anglo-Irish and playing GAA for the parish. My Ireland is Glen Rowe and Joanne O'Riordan. My Ireland, you are an orange, the Vitruvian Mail, and you're up for sale at the right price. My Ireland is the lovely girls at the Road to Lee, Mount Rose and TV3. My Ireland is Archbishop Charles McQuaid, enough said. My Ireland, you are the river rush of the Corrib, Nor, Foyle, Shore, Shannon, Lagan, Liffey Lee, and every tributary wash over me. Wash over me.
That was just so gorgeous. Really, really gorgeous. Now, you were commissioned by the St. Patrick's Day Festival to write this poem. Was that a huge undertaking? Like, was it hard to kind of, you know, and to articulate it, I suppose, in one poem? Or did it all just come to you?
It was quite daunting, to be honest with Samantha, yeah. So I didn't really know what to be doing with myself, because there was so much to say, and then you're kind of worrying about who you might be leaving out as well.
Right.
So, yeah, but I just did the best I could. And even within the poem itself, I say it's an impossible task. So hopefully somebody else will take up the mantle and add their own voice to it.
Well, I think you did a very good job. But do you have a lot of kind of words that you left out, that you edited out, kind of that you just have for yourself?
Well, like, it was actually probably 40% larger. And so what I took out will go into another project that I'll end up working on. So it's not just in the dustbin, you know.
No, beautiful. That's great. And this is what you're doing full time now. You're a professional poet, travelling all over the world, speaking. Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about the term professional poet. That seems like a bit of an oxymoron or something. But yeah, it is my job. I set up as a sole trader in January 2016. I do a lot of work in schools with transition year students, and I gig around the country, and luckily I get to go internationally as well from time to time.
Amazing. Now, I know I've gone to this a couple of times. You were at the Oscar Wilde event, the pre-Oscar awards in LA, and you spoke at that as well, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I got the chance. I'd be friendly with Glenn Hansard, and he's been very kind to me. So he was receiving one of the awards, as was Ruth Nega and a few other heads. So I got to perform there, and I did a couple of other gigs in LA while I was across the waters, you know.
Fantastic.
It's incredible. We only got a sample of that, by the way, folks. That's almost 12 minutes long. And you say there's an extra 40%, so initially it could have been 16.
Yeah, I think I'll turn the next thing into maybe a piece of theatre. That's the plan.
But no, I sat down today, I was having lunch, and I watched it, like, intently. It is fascinating to listen to, because it's, you know, you're not flying flags and saying that it's all sweetness and light. There's a little bit of everything in there.
No, well, this country frustrates me an awful lot, Martin. While I love it, you know, I think we can see a lot of injustice just on the streets. So I had to make sure that I captured that. I wouldn't have been true to myself, or I guess the people of the country, for want of a better term. So yeah, I had to have light and shade.
Okay. So, did you record it in one go or in one take? Because it sounds like an awful lot of work to try and do in one
there's
take.
like 2,000 words in it. So I got to work with Conor O'Brien from the Villagers. He produced the music for it, and there was a whole team of the musicians involved as well. But I recorded over 2 days, but it was mostly one take, and then a few little maybe mistakes here and there. We edited, we dropped in other lines.
Because it picks up a lot of pace towards the end.
Yeah. And then, to be honest with you, from that performance now to where I can take it, and I've nearly got it memorised. And once I've it memorised, I'd say there'll be a few more months, and then, like, you know this as a performer yourself, once you have something in the memory banks, you can then embody it a little bit more. So for me, there's more growth in the poem.
I feel like it's the kind of poem that you'll always be able to grow with and change, and even the inflections, you know, I mean, as kind of the years go on. Incredible. Really big fan. Isaac, before you came to Ireland, what was your kind of thought of what Ireland was, like, before you ever came?
It's probably surprised me a little bit. I obviously had probably a bit of a nostalgic view of it. I obviously always aware of my Irish heritage and, you know, told through tales and stuff like that. And it's probably a little bit different when I first turned up here, you know. I arrived in Belfast, so there's a lot of obviously concrete and barbed wire and stuff that maybe not have been aware of. And it's probably moving down to Dublin, you know, it's not as... Maybe I just thought it'd be more rural, like New Zealand, maybe to an extent. But it's the people that I'd heard about so much, and that's probably what's made me come back and stay here, you know. So it's you've grown an affiliation with the place.
Well, Stephen, you've eloquently put put toward your ideas, your opinions of what your Ireland is.
Yeah.
What about you boys? What's your Ireland? Somebody was to say, my Ireland is.
I suppose we have to represent Donegal a bit, because we... there's Irish people and then there's Donegal people. Oh, God.
Donegal people are the most laid-back people in the world, let alone in Ireland.
And which would be very rural, so...
Yeah.
So, yeah, what's your Ireland?
I don't know.
No pressure, just with an incredible confidence.
This is very hard. We didn't script this part. No, we didn't. Yeah, didn't know this was coming. Everybody in Donegal is going, oh, come on.
Come on, yeah, something. Is Patrick's big for you? Do you have big plans for Patrick's Day?
We're useless.
We actually don't, because we're not playing, and we're planning on just taking it really, really easy. I think on Paddy's Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My parents were over not long ago, actually. One of their highlights was there's a picture we've got that's on the mantelpiece back in New Zealand. It's having the fish and chips down the Port Killybegs. So
Oh, really?
it's a real, like, driving around Donegal. It's one moment that my parents are, like, always look back on. It's one of their favourite spots. So
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
listen,
That's
Killybegs and
Ireland.
fishing. Is it your dad who's...
Yeah, my dad, yeah.
Yeah. Goes hand in hand. What's your Ireland, Steve?
Well, I think we know.
Jesus Christ, give us a break. It's 2,000 words with that.
We've got that.
Yeah,
But, like,
got
to ask
12
you
minutes.
directly, just to ask you.
Yeah, Jesus, what is my Ireland? It's growing, you know, and it's hopefully looking towards the future, and it's evolving, and I think that we're hopefully trying to embrace new cultures, and I think that's good for the country. And I think we will all recognise that. Sure, even Isaac, you know, coming over to live here, and I think that's what it's evolving as a country.
Okay. You're going to be performing this live on Saturday.
Yeah, so, well, if yous are free, you know, on
Sounds like
Saturday.
a lovely evening. National Concert Hall.
Yeah, in the National Concert Hall there's an event called Young Blood. So I've programmed the poetry, and then Aoife Woodlock from Other Voices is looking after the music. So we have the Rosanne family, who are amazing. They just won the Choice Music Award, Hair Squid, and loads of other musicians. So it's kind of a brave move for the St. Patrick's Festival, and also for the National Concert Hall, to have this high-energy event in that space. So it's on Saturday at 8 o'clock.
And you're emceeing, aren't you?
I'll be doing a bit of emceeing, yeah. I'll be performing the poem there, and a few other poems that I've written as well. So, yeah, should be good.
Really lovely.
Yeah.
Really
Lovely thing to do for the weekend, yeah.
Absolutely.